You cannot learn from all your losses in trading, and that's just the reality of it. Trading is a business, and in a business, any type of business, you're gonna have business expenses. Certain losses are those expenses, and that's what I'm gonna be discussing with y'all in a little bit on why you cannot learn from all your losses. Now, don't get me wrong, you can learn from certain losses and some losses, and I'm gonna be showing y'all why you can learn from only some losses. So what I'm going to be doing is actually bringing out a slideshow that I have in my mentorship that's upcoming. You can join the waitlist, and I'm going to be showing part of that video because this video can be very informative on why you can only learn from some losses but not all losses. But before we actually get in this video, I want to introduce myself. My name is Najee. I've been trading for 4 years, profitable for 2 of those years. You can view my track record and all that. And not only will I be showing the slideshow in this video, in the slideshow, I also show how to review your losses properly, because if you already know and if you follow my track record, I've been on drawdown for June and July, so 2 months of drawdown right now. I don't know how this month is going to play out, but I had losing months though for June and July. I'm not saying that you cannot learn from these losses, but just not all, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that. What if I told you right now that you cannot learn from all your losses? What if I told you that just because you took a loss doesn't mean you actually did something wrong on the chart? What if I told you not all losses have a reason? And that's what I'm here to discuss with y'all and explain to y'all that why you cannot learn from all losses. Now, I'm not saying that every single trade you take, you're not allowed to learn from it, because how are we supposed to improve? There's a certain way to actually go about it, which I'm actually going to be discussing in this mentorship today. So first, you gotta understand this. If you're following a profitable system, losses will happen even when you're following the plan, which is why no one wins 100% long term. You can still learn from some losses, not all, to improve a system or to spot if you are not following your plan. Most people do it wrong and end up changing or switching a strategy because of something called the losses, which is confused for bad losses. Now, if you remember in this mentorship, we talked about the good losses versus bad losses video, so you need to refer to that to remember what I'm talking about. We will talk about how to learn from those certain losses that can improve your edge at the end of this video. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video, because that I'm going to be showing you the blueprint and how to learn from actual losses that were not meant to be, losses that are there to actually help you improve your system. Now, another thing is, trading is about accepting that losses, break-evens, and wins combined make a profitable system, which is why no one wins 100% long term. Remember, I already stated that. Trading is a business, and the losses that follow a profitable system is the same as a business that has expenses. The revenue in a business covers those expenses to produce profit, just like your RR, or risk to reward, covers your losses to produce profit overall. Most traders overcomplicate this concept because they are looking to take less losses without first understanding you can still make money with a 30% win rate. Now, this was a comment on one of my public YouTube channels, and what I basically did, I made a community poll or question about, can you learn from all losses, which most people got wrong, because like we discussed already, no one has a 100% win rate even though you're profitable. And a lot of people were disagreeing with me, and I'm making this whole video right here to actually prove what I'm talking about. So this person said, and thus you learned that you can do everything right and still take a loss. So they was responding to my actual answer of saying, even when you follow your system, you will still take losses. Now I'm gonna be answering this. Now I have a question for you. How many of you took a loss after following your plan, then switched strategies, over leveraged on the next trade, or started to experience FOE, which is the same as fear of entry. I know many of you have experienced this, because I know I have experienced it where I took a loss and I started to experience fear of entry. And that's with following a plan. Because most people, when they take a loss with a proven system, um, probably because I'm going to explain this in the next slide, but probably because they didn't test their system enough, and then they have fear of entry of the next trade, which basically means that they hesitate to enter on the next trade and they might miss a move or something along those lines. So that this statement of saying you can still learn that you can do everything right and take a loss is still flawed, because most people actually don't learn when they take a loss after following their system. Now listen up. Taking a loss just because a trader follows their system, like I said, doesn't usually make a trader learn that after following a plan they can take a loss. I don't know what just happened. Let's say you did learn from a loss. What happens after you learn from those losses? So let's say, okay, you took a loss and you learned from it. Can you learn that same exact thing? Can you learn that you will still take a loss after following the plan when you take future losses? I don't know if that made sense, but no, you can't, because you just learned it already. If you already learned it, in the future when that thing happens again, when you take those losses, you cannot learn it again because you already learned that thing. I know I said it multiple times, but it actually makes sense. Most traders who become profitable learn this from testing or from testings. And the reason why I say testings is because there's different variations of testing. There's back testing, and there's other types of testing that I do cover in this mentorship, and I did show examples of what those other testings, so you can know exactly what to do. But most of them become profitable through those different testings for thousands of hours of one strategy. This shows and teaches that trader that following a profitable system can still result in taking some losses. So they already learned that what they was talking about in that stage, because they did the work prior to hopping on the charts. Now we're going to be talking about how to effectively learn from losses. So I hope you found this video informative. If you want to know how to exactly review your losses properly, and me showing an example with my personal trades, because like I talked about, I was in drawdown for June and July, and I did an example of how to properly do that. Go ahead and join the mentorship waitlist. It's only $100. It's releasing October 1st, and there's a ton of value you can get in that mentorship.